Hey everybody, Jonathan here with Sonoran Scale Studios. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're new here, this is your first time visiting the channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Help us grow. Today we're looking again at the Redcat Gen 8 V2, one of the mainstays of the channel. This thing is so good. It is such a great budget crawler, and it is not limited to staying in the budget crawler category. We've already shown with some very simple, inexpensive upgrades that this thing's capability can go through the roof. In the last video, we added the HobbyWing 1080 ESC, which most that are in the hobby and have been in the hobby for some time are already very familiar with, and for very good reason. It is excellent brushed crawler ESC, arguably the best on the market. Today, we're going to look at some run footage with that new ESC installed. We're gonna go back again to the dried riverbed. Got out a little earlier this time, got out ahead of the heat, and got some better and more run footage in for you. First though, we're gonna pop the shell off this thing, and I'm gonna quickly run you through the settings that I have for the 15 different parameters that are set by the user that make this ESC so good. So let's pop the shell off and take a look. As far as running mode goes, this is a crawler, so I don't want to go through a break sequence. Item number one is I just have set to forward and reverse. To change items, you simply click item. To change the value associated to that item, you would click value. Reset will do a factory reset on the ESC. Anytime that you change any values, you're going to want to hit OK, and that just locks the new settings in and confirms everything. Battery type is quite straightforward. I use LiPo, so I have now one LiPo. The cutoff voltage, I like to run. I find that auto medium is a good middle ground of battery protection with not a lot of trade-off in runtime. You still get quite good runtime, and I use very small packs, so runtime is kind of important to me, but I just feel that auto low, the cutoff voltage is too low and it becomes dangerous for damaging the cells in your LiPo. I find that 3 or 4 is a good setting here. For initial start force, I go a 1 or 0%. It seems to allow you to creep up onto objects easier without inducing wheel spin as easily. It makes your power delivery more linear. Max forward force, that's pretty straightforward. It's just when your trigger is fully depressed, how much power is applied, and obviously I just keep that at 100%. The only time where I could see changing that would be in the instance maybe of handing your controller off to a new user and you just don't want them to have full power available. Item number 6, again, as I said, 6 through 15 are listed on the back. Item number 6 is max reverse force, and in this case I keep it at 2 or 50%. Item number 7 is maximum brake force. I just utilize 100% on that. It seems to work well. Item number 8, initial brake force. For this, I keep it at 1 or 0%. It just allows it to ease into a braking. It's less aggressive, less abrupt. Item number 9 is the drag brake. Now this is pretty crawler specific, and this is where I take advantage and where this ESC really starts to shine for me. I keep this at value 9, which is 100% drag brake. Now this does use more battery, but really in the conditions you're using a crawler, that's not an issue. Item number 10 is drag brake rate. For this, I've got it just set a little bit higher at level 5. They don't give you an actual breakdown of what each level means, meaning its corresponding percentage or variable rate. They literally just list this out, as you can see here, as level 1 through level 9. I find level 4 or 5 seem to work well. 5 seem to work a little bit smoother for me. It's just the way that it goes into the braking. It's less abrupt and seems to be less wear and tear on your spur and pinion. For item number 11, the neutral range. This is very user and transmitter specific. It depends on how touchy your transmitter is and how touchy you like a transmitter to be. So I have mine set all the way down at 0.02 milliseconds. That's just my personal preference, and I am using the standard included Redcat RCR-2CE transmitter that this truck came with, and I find this setting to work well. Item number 12 is your start mode, or better known as punch. I keep that right in the middle, level 4 or 5. I've seen people go up to level 9, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But for me, again, it just seems to, in the middle, it seems to reduce wheel spin at low speed or on initial startup. I don't really like wheel spin being induced. A lot of times that's what makes or breaks traction. Item number 13, this is kind of a little secret gem of this ESC that a lot of people love, is you can adjust the pulse width modulation frequency. You can adjust it all the way at level 1 through level 5, level 1 being at 1K and at level 5 being all the way up to 16K. Now, bear in mind, the higher you go in the frequency, the hotter the ESC is going to run. I've not run into any heat issues. It does generate some more heat. It does get warmer, but it's not like it gets hot. I would recommend, if you're turning this up, to keep an eye on your temps at least the first time that you run it, just to make sure that you're not going to run into any issues. I have never experienced any. All that I really do experience is a silent ESC. Item number 14 is your BEC voltage. So the cool thing about this is if you upgrade your steering servo in the future to something that can handle 7.4 volts, you've got the option to change it here from standard 6 volt at value 1 to 7.4 volts at value 2, which will greatly increase the power delivered to the steering servo. Its speed and responsiveness will increase as well. But if you're running on the stock electronics, I would recommend against this, as it's not really designed to handle that type of voltage. And then finally, freewheeling. This one seems a little elusive to me as to being able to tell much of a difference or even fully understand what it does. I've gone back and forth with it on multiple rigs, and I can't tell much of a difference, but I keep it enabled. From what I understand in the literature, it's designed to be enabled when using it in a crawling application. So that's just where I keep it, but I don't notice a major difference. If anybody knows the specifics as to what the difference of this freewheeling is, please leave it in the comments down below, because it seems to be a common question amongst a lot of us in this hobby. I'm going to actually read what it says in the literature regarding freewheeling. The literature states, for regular vehicles, we recommend disabling this function. With it disabled, your vehicle can have quick acceleration. For a crawler, we suggest enabling it. With it enabled, your crawler can have better linearity during low speed running and also less heat. So what it actually does, I'm not entirely sure. I just know that it seems to benefit the crawler when it is set to enabled. So anyways, once you were done setting your parameters, you would hit OK. That's going to save everything, and then just reverse your power down procedure, disconnect it, and hit the trail, which is what we're going to do right now.